not only is it both, it's also an output. It's a part of an ongoing feedback loop. That's what's really different about data nowadays. Two things. Data, first of all, in my definition, is anything that's digitized. So it's not just numbers, it can be stories, it can be video, it can be all kinds of things. And what makes it a platform, an input and an output, is the way we as individuals and institutions can now access it, use it, share it, mix it, and access it again. No, but we want it to be free. I don't think information wants anything, actually. We would love it to be cheap and easily available. There are far too many institutions and individuals and producers of that information who need it to be valued for what they've done to it. So we're in this constant fight, tension, drama, whatever you want to call it, to figure out how to structure that relationship between those who do something with information and make it useful to someone else, and how to compensate them for that, and the fact that especially as information becomes the key raw material for almost our entire economy, if we make it too expensive, we will cut off access to it for those with the fewest resources. So it acts as its own kind of currency, and our society, institutions, and all of us are trying to adjust to what that means. Well, if you think of data as quantitative information, as numbers, yes, it makes a narrative more important. If you realize that data is anything that's digital, a good part of data actually are stories. So they're the video stories, the newspaper stories, whatever it is. So it's not the problem we have with the word data is we tend to think it means numbers. But in a digital age, data is anything that's digitized, and almost anything can be digitized nowadays. It's a focusing effort, I think. What we have to realize is our time frames have become shorter. We can still set our goals for a very long time frame and be very clear on what we're trying to accomplish over time, but we're going to have to constantly adjust our strategies because the context in which we are implementing our work, in which we're doing whatever activities we're focused on, that context is going to change. And at any point, that could be a small change or a really big left turn. And the goal of strategy now has to be to help create an institution or an initiative that can adapt that quickly. Yeah, the same downsides there are for all of us in all of our lives as these network technologies become more and more of our daily structure. So the pace of change, the pace of information, the ability and the ability of people with what's the word I'm looking for? Negative intent to use these technologies and their speed and their reach with the same access as somebody with a positive intent. There's also just I think all of us as individuals and as institutions are trying to adapt to the pace at which information moves. It's exponentially faster and broader than anybody over the age of 20 was raised with, and we need to figure out how to both take advantage of that, step away from it when we need to, and also keep our eyes on a very long-term horizon, which is at least theoretically what philanthropy has been structured to focus on. Well, there are two. One is it's simply what's out there. It would be like a fish trying to ignore the water at this point would be what I would think if someone wanted to simply try to pretend that this is not the way the world works. So one is because it's there, which may not be a creative reason, but it is the best reason. And two is because actually the network technologies have a lot to offer. That pace, that reach, that low cost, those are all good things. That we've fundamentally seen a change in how people in the most impoverished parts of the world are able to get information. We're fundamentally seeing a change in how people in the most developed part of the world, the most technologically rich part of the world, can find out what's going on in other places around the globe instantaneously. These are not things to be scared of. These are things to embrace.